Hey everyone, today we're diving into Sega consoles. We'll be talking about the opening screens, from the first model to the Dreamcast, along with some interesting details from that era. If there are any nostalgia lovers here, let's get started.
The SG-1000 is a pretty simple console that came out in 1983. Because of the hardware limitations at the time, there's no splash screen. When you switch it on, it just initializes the game cartridge. This was a standard approach for many consoles at the time, as features like splash screens came with more advanced hardware.
The Sega Master System was released in 1985, and when you look at its design, it really seemed like it came from the future. But let's be honest, those square controllers were really testing our fingers. If any of you remember this, let's meet in the comments.
In 1988, Sega released the Genesis, or Mega Drive as it was called in Europe, and that's when everything changed. With Sonic the Hedgehog, Sega said, "We are the king of 16-bit," and it's fair to say that the Genesis really consolidated its position at that time.
Sega! In 1990, Sega entered the portable console market with the Game Gear. It was mesmerizing with its colorful screen, but the batteries, they would run out immediately. Those who remember that era know exactly what I mean.
In 1991, Sega launched the Sega CD as an add-on for the Genesis. It attracted attention with CD-based games. The technology was impressive, but the price was out of reach for many. Still, it made its mark with games like Night Trap. Wondermega was developed in 1992 with the help of Sega and JVC. It was the luxury console of the era because it combined Genesis and Sega CD in one device. You could play games on it and use it as a CD player, however it wasn't very popular because it was expensive. Nowadays it's a real collector's item for retro enthusiasts.
In 1993, second version of the Sega CD was released. It had a smaller and sleeker design, but the content didn't really change much. The price dropped a bit, but it was still a luxury for most users. Don't forget to leave a like on the video at Sonic Speed. The Sega Saturn stepped into the 32-bit era in 1994. It was one of the most innovative consoles, with 3D graphics and CD support.
But there was a problem. In the adverts they said, "Those who don't have a Saturn regret it," and indeed with this pressure, many people managed to regret not buying the console. The Sega 32X was released in 1994 with the aim of adding 32-bit power to the Genesis. It seemed like a great idea on paper, but the Saturn's arrival a few months later made things more complicated. It was a short-lived product and left many gamers wondering whether they should buy it or wait.
The Dreamcast was perhaps Sega's most special console. This device, released in 1998, was the first game console could connect to the internet. The calming blue screen and music on the opening screen made you feel just how different it was. But unfortunately, it shone like a star and then quickly faded away. Yes, we've taken a look at Sega's consoles from start to finish. What's your favorite Sega console? Write it in the comments so we can get nostalgic. If you liked this video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Goodbye.